Podcast Season 2. Today we got my boy Eli West.
How we doing, man?
Pretty good. So today, just like every single podcast with our guests, we're going to just make sure that I pick their brain and this is just their platform for today. It's their job to just give you guys a message, give you guys an opportunity to learn, to grow and be a better person on and off the field. So let's just start off from the genesis. Starting off, I know, coming from Hackensack to Georgia that senior year, how was that transition being that kid from Jersey to Atlanta for like that one season, and how it motivated you to be an athlete, to get that scholarship knowing like you're here by yourself, you don't know anybody, and your only focus is to grind?
That's the best part. When you're by yourself, you don't really know too many people, you only get to focus on your craft. So honestly, I truly think that's the best part about it. That's really what pushed me, was knowing that I really didn't have distractions.
Yeah.
And that really geared me to be the athlete that I knew I could be. Because in Jersey, I had a lot of friends, we got friends, stuff like that. But coming to Georgia, not knowing anybody, I got to put more time to my craft, go on runs, and really just transition into a college athlete while still being in high school.
So you felt like it just gave you that laser focus you needed?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Nice. So coming out of high school and then going towards, Division I and being in the military as well. Talk about that dual factor of just not only having the scholarship and military funds to help you out during college, but the mentality of, being a track and field athlete and also being in the military. Just talk about those two different mentalities bouncing off each other and how it helped you grow.
Oh, for sure. It was a switch. Definitely said military is something that I needed. Discipline. Self-discipline was something I struggled with as a kid. Bad environment growing up. Had a lot of terrible friends and stuff like that. So the military set me straight for discipline-wise. So it was a good switch, because when I got to track and field in college, being at Division I level, one of the highest levels you can get in college, it was one of those things where I thought I was working hard.
So you saw everybody else work hard.
So I started seeing, you top in the state, you leave Georgia, in high school, you top in the state, you get to college.
That guy.
Everybody top in the state in college,
Exactly.
So you go from winning first place to going last place, and that switch hits. So having the military as that background, that never quit, one of our warrior ethos saying I would never quit and stuff like that, that pushed me in college. I never quit a day in practice, no matter what it was, no matter what the adversity was against me. I always pushed myself, and the military was that big background, that big backbone for me.
Man, I like that a lot. I think I wouldn't say I have a military background, but my father, being a young man, 13 years old, having to fend for his own, after his parents said, look, we can't really do much for you. We need you to help out around the house. So my grandfather had took my father to the other side of the island to go over there and cut grass or things like that. The family that had a conservatory over there on the island, they said, nah, that's not fit for a young man. They put him through trade school. But a lot of things my father learned was on his own, had to fend for himself. So accountability, responsibility, discipline, and more importantly, being a great critical thinker.
Yep.
Not trying to make things complex. Everything has to make sense. Everything has a purpose. So I understand what you mean by that, because it gives you a certain type of pragmatic thinking that everything I do has to have a certain result.
Yes, sir.
Nothing I do is going to be out of place. Nothing I do is going to be in a sense for no reason. If I'm doing something for no reason, I shouldn't do it at all.
Absolutely.
So I understand that a lot. Being, that guy at first, and then going against, as you can say, those wolves, because you went from dogs to wolves. You out there, you got to hunt now.
Oh, yeah.
You can bark all you want.
Oh, yeah.
And get in a pack, but now you with all the other guys, and they just been snatching scholarships and breaking records, and you just dang, dog, y'all up here and I'm down here. I thought I was supposed to be y'all at. So everybody can say they worked, but you obviously did work. You held this Savannah State and break some records. What was, not even the mentality, but what was the passion, more importantly, behind that? Because passion without ambition, you might as well just not have anything going for you.
For sure. So passion is one thing. I grew up playing football, so that was my heart and passion. But I transitioned to track and field, and I found a new passion for that track and field, because it was one of those sports that really exemplifies you as a person.
For sure.
It's an individual sport.
For sure.
So, you can't blame no one but yourself.
Or hide behind.
Or you can't hide. You're in the open on 8 lanes, it's you and just, you and yourself and all these other dogs or wolves out there. So I would say the biggest thing that helped me, that pushed me, that really motivated me, was I had a couple of teammates there, and I realized that track and field in college, as much as you want to be a lone wolf as it was in high school, you're really nothing without a great support system. You've got to find a mentor. You've got to find, that great, support background. My coach was always there. He was always there to tell me hey, these are the workouts you need to be doing. You can't be great just going to practice. You know,
bare minimum.
You know, showing up is just showing up. You know, that's one thing. So I had Randolph Barrett was one of the kids that was on my track team,
nice.
And I saw that he was always outworking everybody on the team, and I don't like to be outworked.
Of course not.
So I worked my hardest, and he was my motivation in track and field. That's the reason I broke records and stuff like that at Savannah State. He set the standard, and I was like, no one's outstanding me. So
I want to set it higher than yours.
Exactly. So I set the bar above that. You know, he kept raising his bar, which kept raising my bar. So if he would have left, who knows what would have happened in track and field?
Oh,
you know?
Man. So he was like, you know, that time, you know, LeBron and Kobe was supposed to
yeah.
Y'all had that back and forth going.
For sure. Man. Every day, hip to hip in practice. For sure.
Man.
Yep.
Oh man. So, you know, quick tangent. So taking that experience of that support system, right?
Yep.
Fast forward to life right now. Do you feel like, you know, that lesson of having a support system has allowed you to grow a lot as a man, knowing that like you have to surround yourself with great individuals? Because I feel like not a lot of us understand the journey to whatever the goal may be, whether it be 6-7 figures, whether it is, you know, owning the gym, whether it's being a great player. A lot of us, like you said before, just focus on going to practice, showing up, putting the work in. The extra work is cool, but what are the extra workouts you're supposed to be doing? What's the purpose? Who's guiding you? More importantly, who's helping you? You can't learn to do something and then teach yourself, because I fell prey to that. For every hour you're learning, that's somebody else just working.
Yep.
So for the 2 hours you spent to learn that drill, he just spent 2 hours working. Do the math. No matter how much you try to like grind, you're really working backwards.
Oh, yeah.
So just talk about like, you know, just getting that concept of support system and how it's helped you so far.
Oh yeah, so support system is huge. I would definitely say without support, you know, I don't know where I'd be.
For sure.
Growing up, I felt like I didn't have as much support. We all got parents and stuff like that. Some are great parents, some are bad parents. But, you know, for me, I had to let pride go. You know, pride is something that will kill you out here in this world, and you need to have support. So I'm the same dude, Randolph Barrett, and I got a friend, Malik Franklin. Those are my 2 dudes on track and field program that to this day, you know, they support everything that I do, whether it's investing, whether it's going out there and, you know, being a coach or stuff like that. They're always testing me, always, you know, pushing me. They're achieving stuff in their life and all that and third. And that right there allows me to keep growing as a person. I've got people that's growing and they're growing around me, and I'm not the lead of my group. You know, we are all attacking our goals, and we're always there together in one big pack. And I think in life in general, if you're surrounded by people or like-minded people, I don't think you're gonna really adapt that much if you all think the same. Me and my group, we're all different individuals. You know, we're individuals, a part of a group. You know, we don't agree on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we challenge each other. And that's what allows each of us to grow individually. And as a group, our group grows stronger and stronger. We're not afraid to step up and say like, hey, you were wrong. You know, that pride stuff, throw it to the side. And I feel like with a great support system, a great group of people, whether it be friends, brothers, family, it doesn't really matter. It could be a mentor, someone you've never met before. Be online playing a video game. Whoever you talk to, whatever you like, interaction you have with someone can change your life. And you can change theirs. And I feel like you should always strive to have that in your life, because without that, you're not going to grow. You need to have interaction.
Yeah, man. Because I try to tell kids all the time, like, you know, like, hey, coach, can you show me a workout, stuff like this? I'm like, let me show your parents. Let me educate your parents first, because that's your backbone. Because once you leave me, your mom and dad's like, oh, okay, go work out, but what are you working out on? What's the purpose behind it, and are you even doing it the right way?
Oh yeah.
I'd rather let your parents know more about this than you right now, so if I walk away, they can guide you down the right path. I feel like, you know, once I made the flip of like, I have to lean upon my mentors, my family, and, you know, great friends to take the leap, is when results started getting faster. It's when things started to open up. Before I didn't have that, but when I said like, all right, let me talk to my OGs more. Hey, don't post that. Change that up. Hey, that looks good, but change this font. You like, you know, having those interactions on a consistent basis, I was able to slowly but surely figure out how I wanted to run my business, and more importantly, figure out my identity. And that's so huge in any field. It's like figuring out, you know, your identity. Because now the culture you bring is just you showing up and broadcasting yourself. That's the culture. And I think that's what's going to help anybody in any field. Could be track, basketball, football, but you have to find your identity. But you cannot find it if you don't have people to help you nourish that within your support system. So leaving the sector of track and field, and also having that back in the military. Now, you know, being a coach and stuff like that, and, you know, you and also Coach Allen have built a beautiful, you know, grassroots program, as they call it, for track and field. Let's just talk about, you know, how Allen just throw you J's. It's like, here you go, like a throwaway, but like just talk about, you know, the process of like actually taking that one and that seed blooms to a beautiful tree, and everybody else is like, wow, I want a piece of this. So just talk about that process it took from Jade to now where it is right now.
Starting off with Jade, you know, my first athlete. You know, she's in Division I right now, running in college. Amazing athlete.
Yeah.
When she came in here, that was my first ever, you know, opportunity to really coach an athlete outside of just like a group of kids.
For sure.
I finally was able to coach my first individual athlete.
First one-on-one.
Absolutely. And that allowed me to change my method of coaching in general. Instead of building out group programs, stuff like that, I had to really call my coach in college. I'm a coach now, Coach Witt. I'm a coach.
Hey,
and like,
am I doing this the right way?
You know, and that's where the resources come. And I was, you know, scared, nervous, and all that. The first time, you know, the parent is putting you in charge, and the head coach here is putting you in charge.
You don't want to damage the product.
You know, you don't want to damage the product.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in myself, and I know what I can do. And how do I transition a lot of the stuff that I have in me and put it onto another athlete and have them grow as an athlete? So I take a lot of my experiences and a lot of the things that I've used and a lot of things that's helped me grow, and I've instilled that into Jade, which then she started to perform, and a lot of people around her started to notice the difference. And they were like, "What are you doing?"
I need some of that.
I need some of that. You know,
Mike's secret stuff.
It's the secret sauce right here. You know, so you know, somebody else came in, and another person came in. At the end of the year, you know, I had at least 6 good athletes. They're all seniors. You know, sadly, you know, 1 year with them, but all of them ended up going to college. You know, whether it was track and field or football, but that started the foundation of this program. Now we've got well over 20 plus kids. You know, and I believe that for me, having Jade, I say it all the time, I thank you guys so much because you guys started my journey as a coach, and you guys have helped the future kids that I will coach.
You set this home.
You know, you set the standard here, and having that military background and all that in third, I don't do much BS. If you guys see me coaching and all that, you know, I'm having them doing push-ups and all that in third.
Discipline, everything for sure.
You know, discipline is important, especially whether it's track and field or any sport, whether in life in general. You know, I had to learn that as a coach. You know, outside of coaching, we're mentors. You know, we're somebody's uncle, you know, mom, dad, brother that they don't have.
You set the tone.
Exactly. So, you know, that really was a huge break for me to have Jade as an athlete to start off, because here I am, books, Google, YouTube, everything, coaching, calling everybody, you know.
Just to make me at your best.
At my best.
At your best. I know how I feel for sure. I know how I feel. So, you know, going through that phase of like, you know, from one to many, right? What was going through your brain, honestly, like, you know, when you first got thrown? I know, like, you know, you was trying to like make sure you were at your best. Like, what really was going through your brain? Because I know for me personally, my first one-on-one was just my nephew, right? And here I am, pandemic. You can go to my, you know what I'm saying, go all the way down. I got chalk lined up in the front yard, showing how to shoot, dribble, and like, I'm responsible to take this young man and show him how to play basketball in his skill aspect. Team-wise, he got to learn on his own with a team, but like, I'm responsible for showing how to shoot, dribble, pass, all this stuff. And I'm working so many hours at a different job. I'm not even a full-time coach yet. Even when I became a full-time coach, same thing, I didn't have no time. It's like, you know, it was so much mentally I was putting myself through, because I knew, like, if I don't give my best, I'm going to hurt this kid. If I don't give my best, I'm going to hold this kid back. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do now, I can't. We got to work twice as hard. Now, I might burn them out. That might make them feel like they're not good enough. And it's like, that's on me. So it's like, what was going through your mind during that time when you first got that first one-on-one?
Man, same thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. As I said earlier, I felt like Jade's future was in my hands, and how good she was in high school really didn't matter to me. It was about how can I get you beyond high school, you know. So for me, I was nervous. I can't lie and say I wasn't nervous. I was nervous. I had a lot of talks with, you know, my brother, mom, family, and a lot of them just saying like, hey, you know, this is a big thing to me. I need some, you know, guidance and all that. Just people to just talk over me, bless over me, you know, as I go through that journey. But as you said before, you know, it's a lot of work, especially if you're not doing it full time. You got another job going on, you know. At that point, you know, sacrifice is just, you know, another word.
I took 2 days off from here.
You know, so you sacrifice everything. That's what I did. You know, I sacrificed a lot of nights and stuff like that, building out programs, making sure I'm doing it right. While I leave my regular job, come here, maybe coach a couple hours, go back home, do my own stuff, personal stuff. But then here I am doing, you know, stuff for Jade, workouts. It's a non-stop thing. You know, coaching is non-stop because, you know, outside of that, here I am calling college coaches, helping recruit and stuff like that for a lot of these athletes. You know, Jade, you know, even though she was really phenomenal, she was under-recruited. So you know that was a huge factor of it.
Pulling strings, sending out their film. You become a scout now.
Yep, and coaching is just a big reflection of yourself.
For sure.
You know, so if your life is all out of whack, your training is all out of whack.
It's just gonna show.
It's gonna show. So, you know, I tried my best not to stress myself out, you know, stayed on my daily routine of just jogs, you know, yoga and stuff like that. Mind down, you know. You know, I play video games. I'm one of my biggest stress relievers, you know, so I take out at least an hour of my time. At some point, I'm going to do that. You know, I think that's what really helped me was just having those moments in time to take breaks to make sure your mental's right, because you don't want to come in and you accidentally damage the athlete.
Because you're mad.
Because I'm mad. I'm having a bad day. Now the athlete's having a bad day. The athlete has a bad meet or something like that. So.
It's a trickle-down effect.
Absolutely.
Trickle-down effect. I think one thing for me, with my nephew being so young, like, I want to get him started in 3rd grade, couldn't, 4th grade, couldn't. Now, finally got in 5th grade. 3 days out the week, you know, started that last summer, but like, you know, I said, okay, let me take 2 days off from red line to try and train more on my side of town, more importantly, training him. And he told me straight, he was like, man, like, the 5 days, I'm getting a lot better quicker, like, it all makes sense. And it's like, you know, all right, I'll take the pay cut so you can get better. I'll sacrifice my time to get better. So now it's like, okay, you're on the same 2-3 zone, all right, cool. We're gonna slow down on skill development because you're already playing AAU. Let's just focus on making sure we do shell drills. We'll show you each spot, how to play, stuff like that. But more importantly, with him at that young age, I try to make sure he loves the game still.
Oh yeah.
Because I know with AAU, they try to make it so competitive.
Oh yeah.
So I know he's in season. Every time I train him now, it's just games.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a buffer. You didn't have AAU, so I was serious on you. But now I can't be serious with you and you have AAU. Where's your release? Where's your peace? So now it's like, you know, let the coaches kill you in practice, let the game stress you out. But with me, let's have some fun. Let's go get some food somewhere. Let's hang out. And let's train a little bit, train hard, but I'm not going to kill you right now.
Different mindset.
Yeah, because, you know, that balance of coaching, yes, it's sacrifice, but you have to be a psychologist sometimes. And like pick brains, see what you do best, like, you know, what you like to do, what can I do better to.
Every athlete's different.
Like we said at one time, like everybody learns different too.
Yeah.
You're auditory, you're kinesthetic, you're a mixture of all three. It's like, dang, I gotta get a lot better at this. Then you gotta learn, okay, retention, like you didn't retain it. What did I convey it the right way? Am I not speaking the right way? What example do you need? Coach, come over here. Like, you need to get a coach in front of you. Like, it's a lot that goes into it. And, you know, as a kid, you don't appreciate it. Because you just want to work like, damn, coach got me running. Coach got me. But as you become a coach, it's like, damn, you was doing that for me? Damn, you stayed up all night for that for me? It's like you start to understand, like, they're unsung heroes.
Yeah.
They really are, like you just said, the uncle, the big brothers. Like, you know, they really are that other backbone you need. Because I'm not going to lie. The man I am right now is because of all the other coaches in my life, when my father and mother weren't there.
Sure.
They kept me accountable and stuff. I think the hardest times of life I went through is when I stopped playing basketball. Like when I couldn't make high school basketball and I couldn't play college basketball. I say from 2014 to 2017, just not being around organized sports were the toughest times of my life. I'm just going around, do whatever I want, chilling. I'm in different types of groups. I'm with this group, I'm with that group. I just got no identity because I just used to be a basketball player. Now I'm not doing it. So I'm just out there crazy. But when I came back to it, it's like, damn. This is what's about the structure, the discipline, the mission, the cause, the purpose. And so I realized that, like, you know, coaching is more than just calling out X's and O's. You set the standard for life. For sure. You set the standard for how people are supposed to go out there and live their day-to-day life. So for me, man, you know, I believe, and you can probably attest to this too, that one-on-one situation made me a better man and a better person because I never cared so much in my life until I knew I had to get this kid better. Group training, cool. Fitness, cool. I'm not saying I'm talking about my clients, but knowing that like you have somebody you're responsible for in an athletic situation and their ceiling depends on your work ethic, nobody else, is like, fuck. If I don't do my job, it's gonna show. My career, your future, both of this shit is on a tightrope. It's not about pushing them. It's like, can you push yourself? Can you push yourself? So like after they set that standard, right? What's the mentality you have now in terms of, you know, with your athletes trying to keep them accountable with the new group? Because, you know, generations change, seasons change, you know. Now it's like, you know, how do you push these new buttons now to try and get the same exact result, if not a little bit better? Because in the end, we always want to take a step above.
Oh, yeah. So this year's group is a lot larger than last year's group. Like I said, last year probably had maybe 6 maximum at the end of the year. We got like 20 plus kids this year. So having 20 plus kids, that means I got 20 plus personalities, you know. Last year's group, I could yell at them, be on top of them, like, hey, you know, tighten up, toughen up, you know. This year, you know, I've got a bunch of underclassmen, which is different than having the upperclassmen who are ready, they're serious, they want to go to college. Yeah, you know. So I got a bunch of younger kids, you know, they know everything. And so, you know, it's I would definitely say it's a challenge this year, but the standard's still the same. Gotcha. Excellence is still the same. That's the standard. Going to college is no longer the standard. I've done that. We've done that. We've sent people to college. I want to see who's going to go pro. Who's going to get a little contract or something like that, or, you know, travel to do track and field. That's the next goal. You know, so right now, having a younger group, it allows me to once again develop more as a coach and to know what that transition shift between immaturity to maturity. When does that happen? And am I the person to instill that in them, or does it naturally happen? So, you know, a lot of athletes, I rotate them through and sit them at captain positions to give them that leadership experience that they're going to need at the next level and stuff like that. And I rotate the captains through. They're all underclassmen. I can't have seniors, you know, just being captains all the time. Exactly. You know, I got to have some of the younger guys step up. So I say that the standard's still the same. The standard's still excellence. But what changes, the only thing changes is how I interact with the athletes on an individual basis now that the group is so big. Before it was a small group, I can stand the one standard. I can just be like, hey, tighten up, toughen up. This group, everyone has emotions. They're all emotional.
Notice that for sure.
You know, and that's definitely one of the things that for me, especially having that military background, I'm all tough and I'm like, hey, you know, cut it out, do this. I still make them do push-ups and all that in third, but same time, I gotta hear them out, listen to them, because there's problems that these athletes deal with outside of training, you know, that is important. And the more that they feel like, you know, you care for them, they'll care back for you. You know, so if they trust you, trust me, you know, it's gonna work out.
The buy-in factor increases.
Exactly. You know, so if I'm listening, I'm, you know, vocal with them, but also receptive, you know, listening to them, what they gotta say, you know, actually genuinely caring about what's going on in their life, and that little timeout breaks and stuff like that, during the training, they'll be serious. And I've noticed that as it came through this group is that, you know, the seriousness comes when they gain more trust in you and they trust you the same way their parents trust in you.
Yeah, because now it's like, you know, I'm not out here just like, man, I don't know what he's talking about. Man, he might make me pull my hamstring. But when they realize you care more about them than the thing itself, it's like, damn, it's beautiful. Like, you know, like, I kid you not, I see my nephew go through like a group workout. And first group workout, they pushed the hell out of him. But he went until he couldn't go. He went till he threw up on sight. And I looked at him and I was like, damn, I taught you that.
That's standard.
And it's like every time he was about to cry and start collapsing, like, I was right there, because I told him, I said, every time, I said, I can't be there all the time, but when you see me, just know I got your back. Just catch your breath. So every time he was about to, like, you know, cry because he getting pushy, because he never got pushed that hard, because, you know, I try my best to push him when I'm with him, but you know how it is.
It's different when, you know, somebody else.
They got no choice. When it's family members, you know, you can have that attitude, not the whole workout's done. So I try to make sure, like, I please him a little bit so we can get a good workout, but with somebody else, you can't, ain't no pleasing. Nah, that's drill. It's drill sergeant time. So every time he huffing and puffing about to, he look at me and then he go, then I go here, then he go here, then he go.
Yeah, man, because he believes in you, you know, and you know, looking at you might make him believe in himself a little bit more. Like,
and that's the most important part. It's like, you know, it's beyond buying in. It's like, you know, can you help raise somebody? It takes a village. And it's like, you know, you're part of like other chieftains. You have the matriarchs, you have the patriarchs, you have the governors, you have the other officials. You're part of that sector of officials who help lead these young individuals to the next level. So when the rite of passage comes through, you're still part of that selection of people to officially say, yes, you have made it. You know, we have to understand, as people within this industry, it goes beyond the checks, it goes beyond the notoriety. It's like, you're a leader now, no matter what. Forget the word coach, you're a leader. Automatically speaking, I don't care what position it is, assistant, I don't care if it's head, whatever it is, you're a leader. And, you know, this year I've been making sure I've set the tone in terms of like what I do, because it's cool to do demos, but like, I'm only 25 years old. Why should I be working like I was just still playing? There's no reason why, like, you know, when I'm not studying my craft, I shouldn't be in the lab working on my stuff, because I don't ever want an athlete to tell me like, coach, you don't work. Nah, you see me. Matter of fact, work out with me and try and keep up. Because that's one thing I loved about growing up in the parks, is that those guys showed you how to play while you played with them. It wasn't no, hey, do this move. Nah, man, come off the goddamn pin down screen. I'm gonna get you open. Get you open. Y'all lose the game, he put this out, hey, look, bro, look, you can't play like that, man. We're going to lose every time. This is how you play. You got to make that cut like this. You got to sometimes get your feet ready before you shoot the shot. Sometimes your feet not set. You got to make sure your eyes on the rim. Like, I learned all that.
And that's love. They ain't have to do that.
No. I learned all that through all the OGs at the park because they saw that I wanted to play. I played hard. So it was like, all right, you're going to play that hard. We're going to show you how to play the right way. And so that gave me the understanding, like, if I want to coach, I need to make sure I can force my guys to be above their playing standards.
Yeah.
Like, your brother even know. Like, it's rare that, like, anybody younger than me can beat me in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I must set the standard for you to work harder, and I feel like I'm going to just keep doing it. It's like, I can't go that hard. And I feel like for all coaches, I'm not saying you got to be this super hard-working guy, but I'm saying, like, if you can't physically push your athletes, they're not going to respect you.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that simple.
That's one of the biggest factors I have is, like, while I'm young, I'm going to use them young days to keep beating up on my athletes.
As much as you can.
Yeah, as much as I can. Because, at some point, I'm just going to be old and wise.
And you have that excuse now.
Now I got my excuse.
But you got experience and wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. At some point, I'm going to be a finger pointer. But as of right now, I'm active. And, if there's an athlete that want to try me, I say it all the time, look, man, we can drive to the track. It don't matter. You nice right now. I had a dude running 48 in high school. We went to the track. We found out, look, at the end of the day, you ain't going to outwork me. But one of the biggest things I like that you said, though, about, like, your, definitely when it comes to having athletes, I don't want my athletes to ever get down on themselves. I tell my athletes all the time, this is one of the things I started instituting this year. If I'm not mad or angry at you, don't be mad or angry at yourself.
Thank you.
There's things I yell at my athletes about, that they may continually do over and over again as if like I
break that habit.
Yeah, I try to break those habits, but like if let's say they have a bad race or something like that. If I'm not mad at you about it, I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. There's probably a lot of positives in your race that you're not looking at because maybe the time wasn't right.
Falling an L.
Or maybe the placing wasn't right. And that's something as coaches I feel like we have to do more of is instead of just always being down an athlete's throat and like stomping them when they're down and all that.
Pick them up.
Pick them up. I know with me when I was an athlete, I didn't have that type of coaching.
What? Get up!
You down? I bet. Where my Timberlands at? Like stay down, right?
Not the brothers.
So now, I look at it and I'm like, there's my experience. How did I feel during those moments? It was just it was a normal thing, but I felt like trash,
Horrible.
Coach cursing you out in all different languages.
You just got blown out by 20 points.
Yeah. So now I look at my athletes and I'm like, I'm stern, I'm hard on them, but at the same time, I'm also realistic and knowing that every day is not going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have a great track meet every single time you have a meet. You're not going to PR every single time you show up. But I want you to get better and learn your races better and become a better athlete every single time. And I want my athletes, and this is one of the biggest things I love. My athletes finish a race and they come back and will say, I didn't run my best. And I'm like, I already knew that. But for you to know this as an athlete saying like, oh, I feel like I ran like trash, that third. Mm-hmm. I feel like I had a bad race. I feel like I could have did better on this part of the race on the back stretch. I'm like, basically doing my job because that's what I was about to tell you. That's how you know you're truly coaching an athlete.
So now they educate themselves.
They educate themselves. They know the deficiencies because you taught them what the deficiencies are. You walk them through the deficiencies and how to correct it. Mm-hmm. So they know if they go back and do that same thing again, they know they've done it. And they know when they come back to me, they know like this is what he about to talk about. He about to say, on my back stretch, I did terrible doing that 400. I jogged too much on the back stretch. I should have strided out and kept that same momentum, that speed. So.
It's beautiful. And now, you start helping them understand the point of being self-taught.
Oh, yeah.
So now when you can walk away and they can get better on their own.
Oh, yeah. And that's a big thing as coaches. Sometimes, when you're training, you always want to be in and active on there. And sometimes you put some people in leadership positions, or if you're doing a one-on-one, you want to be with that athlete so much to the point where now it's like, hey, here's the workout.
Yeah.
And they know by what the standard is. They know like 30-second rest is 30-second rest. I'm not about to sit here and talk and all that in third. Yeah. That's the best part. You got to let the athletes with a point where they're self-taught and they know like, dang, our workout today was trash. I didn't do my best today, coach. Like, my fault.
For sure. Man, that's beautiful because I feel like we see too much, rebounders or babyers in terms of like, all right, I'm going to show you this workout and you're just going to do it. Versus like the purpose behind it, why you're doing it, how it will help you, more importantly, how to progress it, and when to know when you're doing it wrong based upon what you see or what you feel out of your own body and what you see on the track or on the court. It's a lot of different indicators and cues you have to try and teach these kids, and we don't understand how smart these kids really are. It's like I was talking to somebody at the gym, and I had both my nephews, and the oldest one, the one that plays basketball, was showing the youngest one how to shoot the ball. And I crept up, I didn't say nothing, I just slowly walked just to hear it. He was like, you gotta hold the ball, one hand at the side, way under the ball, spread your fingers, gotta squeeze it, gotta have your elbow under the ball, your butt down, and you wanna see the goal. You wanna make sure your elbow is above your head, gotta shoot just like this, okay? Here, you try. I said, damn!
Yep. And it reminds me of like those videos that I see on like YouTube with like little kids boxing and stuff like that. And they're both young kids, but the older brother's teaching the little one
how to box.
So who taught the oldest one how to box though? You know, probably a dad, somebody, a trainer, or something like that. And I love seeing that because you as a coach, it kind of makes your job easier sometimes, you know? You got some kids that really, you know, they take in what you say and they're able to train other younger guys. Like, especially with me, when I'm training my athletes and doing like their warm-ups and stuff like that, if I don't hear an athlete calling out another athlete's deficiencies, say they're doing like high knee runs or they're just doing A skips and they're doing it wrong, if I don't see an athlete say like, hey bro, like fix this, I'm chewing everybody out. Because we all should know what it's supposed to look like. We should know when something's wrong. We've been here long enough. You know, we've done this long enough. Yeah. I'm trying to see which one of you guys are going to be that guy or be that girl. You know, it don't matter. So, you know, that's definitely a key thing. You know, having those athletes to the point where they start learning so much that they can start teaching others. You know, as one thing they mentioned in the Bible, you know, basically, I'd rather, you know, make you fisher of men rather than, you know, making you, you know, just showing you like, you know, I would rather like make you fisher of men rather than basically, here you go, here's some fish, you know, and which is what's going to happen when it goes empty. You're going to come back to me. But what happens when I really teach you and like how to fish or, you know, basically how to train properly, how to eat properly, you know, your nutrition, all that and third, how to stretch properly, how to work out and like minimize injuries. What's going to happen? Somebody's going to do something wrong and that athlete's going to be able to go back to the other athlete and say, hey man, like your A skips are wrong, or hey man, like your stride buildups is wrong, or something like that. And it makes me as a coach saying like, I've done my job. I've done a great job with you. You know, so that's when I become harder on that athlete now because I'm like, okay, you're starting to learn. So cool. Now I'm really about to drill you because you're about to be really good later on in life.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you want to, you know, maximize that ceiling as much as possible.
Absolutely.
And you know, I think the biggest thing for me, when it comes to coaching, like, you know, I have you and other friends as well that, you know, do well within the financial sector. And like, you know, I'm a competitive guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm got y'all, what, 6, 7? I got y'all, but it's like, you know, the hardest thing I can tell any coach or any trainer is like, don't watch the figures. You cannot watch the figures. You cannot. I know it's hard. I know everybody wants to. I know you see the success behind it, but this is how I saw it. It's my little formula. Know your worth. Plus, know what's a great price for your clientele. Okay. And based upon those 2 factors, find a happy median. Oh yeah, for sure. And that's just that. That sweet spot, for sure. And it's just that simple for me. That way, you get the people you want to help out, and you get what you're getting paid. Versus, oh, well, I know my worth, and now you highball yourself, and who can afford you besides people in Buckhead? Oh, yeah. Now you got a small market. Okay, I want to help everybody out. Okay, you're lowballing yourself, you're helping out a lot of people, but now your volume's too high, so where's the quality? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as like, you know, we're talking about investments or whatever, you know? Something that's got, a company that's got a whole bunch of just shares singing, lingering out there on the third. Valuation is low. You know, we just simple economics. It's just supply and demand. You know, as you know, there's a high demand for your product, your skill set that you have as a coach. You know, that's where the value comes from. Thank you. You basically can price off of your valuation. You know that you're very wanted. But if you're just coming into coaching and you're just saying, I'm gonna start charging, you know, thousands of dollars because I was a Division I, I was a coaching assistant. What have you done? You know, yeah, exactly. What have you done? So that's where a lot of coaches, I feel like they come off the wrong way when they first get into the business. Oh, this is gonna be a piece of cake. You know, I went to here, I got these accolades, I got trophies, I got medals, I got this, that, and the third, I got championships. That's cool. That's nice, you know. I know a bunch of coaches that got no medals and all that and third, and guess what? They make, you know, well over 6+ figures coaching. Why? Because they're wise, they've grinded, and they understand the game the way it's supposed to be played, or just understand the sport the way it's supposed to be played. So that's really important. For sure. To value yourself. Don't overshoot yourself, but don't undershoot yourself. As you said, find a happy medium. You have to. And know what's real in your heart. Like, am I really worth this much? Exactly. And you gotta have those talks in the mirror about anything, whether you're coaching. Like, am I really pushing my athletes enough? Or am I over pushing them or under pushing them? Like, man, it's so hard. Yeah. It's so hard because each athlete's different. Like, it's like, dang, I can't push you like him. But I have to push you harder than anybody else. But I gotta talk to you a lot softer because, you know, you're more emotional, more empathetic. So I have to lean on to who you are. It's like you can never ever put anybody in a category.
Yep.
It's a separate box, and each time you open a box, it's a whole new person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to be extremely patient. And I think one thing about this job is that, like, for me personally, it's like, you know, I know you want to, especially with this franchise, you want to, you know, build the culture of like top level athletes, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't love what you do, why would you come here? So okay, drill. It's like, you know, I understand a lot of kids here sometimes aren't here for that, but like for me, my thing is this: if I can make you come in here and enjoy just, you know, doing the relay games and you know, doing a little competition that's so in a speed agility format, if I can just get you through that phase, once it's structured, you'll trust me. Once it's structured, it's more disciplined. You're not gonna be like, coach, stop talking so much and stuff like that. You'll trust me because I allowed you to foster that love for not only the coaching culture here, but also the workouts itself. Because the whole entire time you're doing cone pickup relays, you're working on speed agility, working on cutting. When we're doing mirror juke drills, and when I say go, you gotta try and beat the person you just juked and stuff like that. You're learning how to do read and reaction and go.
Understand everything's got a purpose.
Yeah, everything has a purpose. So it's like, you know, youth training is cool, but I think we get away from, like you said, like knowing how hard you're gonna push somebody. I think with kids, like, you know, focus on the love. Focus on the love of the training, of the game. And once they start saying, hey, coach, can I start doing this? That's when you know you got them. When they come to you and say, hey, coach, can I do this? That's when you know you did your job. It's when they come to you and I want to take it more serious. And that makes your job so much easier. Because now it's like, I don't have to try and push you. It's like, you want to get pushed. Like, I think I knew I got my nephew in the right mentalities when he threw up, and the next day he went to the practice and worked out me, and played his first AAU game. It's like, I was like, bro, if I was your age when that happened to me, I definitely would have took the day off. Like, I know myself at that age.
Oh, boy.
5th grade, throwing up. Yeah, I'm not going to practice next day.
I wasn't going to school.
Yeah.
Going to practice. Oh, man.
But it's like, but it's like, you know, all those conversations of like when he broke down and cried, I'm not doing this no more. And I said, no, I'm not making you quit, not because I'm forcing you to, because I believe there's something inside of you that can do this. I'm not saying you can play NBA basketball. I'm not saying you can play Division I basketball. All I'm saying is you cannot quit because I know there's somebody inside of you that can keep going. And I don't know if that somebody inside of you may go pro, may go wherever. But all I know is we're gonna go as far as we can go. If it stops at high school, it stops at high school. If it stops at middle school, it stops at middle school. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go as far as we can take this until God shows us this isn't for you. And then we're gonna take the same mentality, the same work ethic, and put it towards something else. And we're gonna see how far that goes. And we're gonna keep going until another door opens up. And once he understood that concept, I mean, like, he's slowly opening up more now. He talks more, and like even his parents, I'm like, you know, he's even changed. Like, you know, he gets ready now when he knows it's time to go work out. He puts his stuff on. Now he waits for me. It's like, damn, like I'm changing my own family's culture now. So it's like, just imagine having that type of backbone, that support, or that patriarch type of household, not even household, but patriarch type of individual within your own family at a younger age. What type of man I would be, what type of woman my sister would be, like things of that nature. It's like you really understand the importance of, yes, coaching, but leadership. And that's what a lot of, you know, minority structures lack, is proper leadership of a matriarch and patriarch. And it's like, you know, boom, I'm done it for my nephew. So now my motivation is, how can I be there for my cousins? How can I be there for, you know, my you know, in-laws and stuff like that? It pushes me in that aspect. And now you start studying the greats and how they did it. So you start studying all the great coaches, great athletes, the ones who brought their team together. Not the ones who just won things, but the ones who said, look, man, like the Kareems, like, I got y'all. Like the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Magic, like, look, man, I got y'all. Don't worry about nothing else. Don't give me the ball. Give me your trust. Give me your love. Give me your commitment. And I will take you over there. And then to ask for that trust means you have to not only trust in yourself, but believe in a higher purpose. Because that's going to carry you across temptations. It's going to carry you across those down days when you want to quit. It's going to carry you across moments where you feel like all hope is lost. Like, I had a moment like that with you. And I was like, damn, like, everything just went left. And you said, that's good. You want to always feel like that. You want to always have moments where you fall on your face. Because it's going to show you that, like, you're failing. You have to fail forward. And, you know, like you said, having that first test of failing forward, it's up to you to ask yourself, am I going to take the next step? Or am I going to just let this, you know what I'm saying, keep me down. And it's not even keeping me down, it's the thought of it now. It's the fact that the situation is gone, but the thought is so unbearable, it holds you back. And that's what hurts a lot of our athletes.
For sure.
It's the thought of loss that it may happen again. So it's accepting, keep making me fail. I bet you I get it faster. I bet you I might not get down next time. I bet you I might beat your ass and actually win. It's having that mentality and fostering it, and that's why I try to instill in every athlete. It's like, it's not a no quit, but like, you have to be a man in the arena. You have to keep fighting until you can't fight no more, until your heart gives out.
Oh yeah, I tell my athletes all the time. We're on Saturdays, you know, they're like, man, I feel like I'm about to die or whatever. I said, well, die giving 100%. I said, don't die going to heaven like, God, I died. And he's like, dang, you know how you died? He's like, yeah, I was running like 50% out there on the track. I didn't give it my all. That sucks. I want to, like as people always say, like, me personally, I want to die for something.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and be like, dang, I died, but I didn't really have much purpose. And I want my athletes to live like that through the athletic journey, because even though athletics is a small part of our life, it's one of the biggest parts of our life.
It sets your brain up and your mentality for everything.
Exactly. So how you perform as an athlete may transition to how you perform as a parent. It may perform as like how you perform in your job. Yeah. Anything that you do in life. How do you connect with friends? A lot of athletes, they struggle. A lot of athletes commit suicide and stuff like that. And because like without athletics, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
And what would have helped them throughout that journey, instead of being a lone wolf, maybe like you actually surround yourself around other people and stuff like that. Or maybe you just like stepped outside of your comfort zone and took on more responsibility on your team and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of us in this athletic coaching space, we do a lot of coaching, but we don't do a lot of like just nurturing. And
thank you.
Especially at like, we got young kids, young kids, I don't even care if they're like 18, 19, at the same time, still young kids. I remember myself 18 years old, still immature, 17, immature. Whether they're like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, at the end of the day, like, parents are going to be parents outside of here, but you still want to nurture these kids because there's so much more on the mental side that they still got to grow.
Support system.
Support system. And I want my athletes, I get calls from my athletes all the time. Hey, coach, I got this exam and all that in third. They're in college now. They left. Or like, hey, coach, I'm in college. You want to send me some workouts?
How do I handle this?
How do I handle this? How do I do that? I got, female athletes like, hey, this guy's trying to talk to me and all that. That's the trust. I'm like, dang.
You big bro now.
I'm big bro, and that's the thing.
Is he legit trying to talk to him?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh yeah, put him on the phone. Let me talk to him.
And check his face card.
Yeah. So stuff like that. You want to be in a situation where you're a coach, but at the same time, you are, like I said before, you are that father figure, that brother, that uncle. And it changes the dynamic of athletics when you got more like-minded coaches on that stance.
Yeah.
I don't care about the coaches that do all the yelling and hollering and got these accolades for winning and stuff cool. like that. That's cool. Nice. But what happens to your athlete outside of sports? What goes on in their life? Do they reach out to you? Do you reach out to them after they finish sports?
Great example. So I tell you all the time, like, people like to bring up Coach K and stuff like that, and the Bobby Knights. But for me, it's like this. Look at Dean Smith. Look at, John Wooden. Now, yes, they were successful as well. But look at their athletes after they left UCLA and left UNC. And then look at the Hoosiers players and look at those Duke players. I'm just serious. Not only was the success rate a big drop after they left those programs. So look at all the Duke players. They're not as great as the UNC players that get to the NBA. All the Hoosiers players weren't as great as all the UCLA players. There's more Hall of Famers from those two programs than the two I just mentioned. So what really changed? It wasn't the X's and O's. It was that man in that head coach seat that said, look, I'm going to teach y'all to be men. I'm going to help y'all grow. Show you how to work, how to be disciplined, how to be a provider, how to be a leader, how to nurture, like you just said. And so for me, it's like those are the guys I model myself after. Is that it goes beyond X's and O's.
Yeah. Is
that like John Wooden said, you want to make a chain, go get a broom. Go get your broom. I'd be the one to go first. So many coaches want to talk about why you can't do this? All you kids don't know nothing. All you kids, stop blaming kids. Kids learn by mimicking, by learning. So obviously hasn't been taught. So you should be like, yes. A challenge.
Perfect moment.
A challenge.
You grow as a coach. Perfect.
But you're worried about the success. You're about your ego. You're worried about what people say about you. When you don't understand that, like, you might be able to pivotally change this individual life by just sitting down and having a great season with them as a mentor first.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about, I tell kids all the time, I'm not the coach who's gonna push you to be high level if I can't teach you how to take your life high level.
Oh yeah.
If you can't take your own life high level, I don't give a damn about X and O's no more. Let's fix what's at home first. We can do this 3 days out the week. Let's fix what's at home first. Let's fix school first. Let's fix your mentality first.
Yep.
Let's do all this first and watch how this becomes so much easier. Because as an athlete, I had anxiety, I had depression, all that. And it didn't take until I was an adult to understand I had those problems. And after I got those problems handled, I realized like, wow, that's why I was that type of player. That's why I was scared to do this, that, and third. That's why it's like, wow. Just imagine how much that could change your future. But think about who's affecting right now. Probably a lot more kids. So when you see kids just having a down day and instead you saying, man, fix your face, nah, like put the sport up.
Yep.
You want to sit down and talk? You want to get some food and just chop it up? Like, I take more pride in that than anything else. Because at the end of the day, like you just said, a lot of these kids are committing suicide once they leave the sport. Because they have no identity no more. They're lost. They're out there just trying anything because this is all they do. And some of them didn't even work that hard when they were in high school. So they got no scholarship. And now it's like, all right, they play pickup at the LA Fitness, but not in school. No, not in school to be in school.
Yep. I mean, I would say this, like my first year in college, I was redshirt, third, my first year. And basically I walked around campus like a regular kid. And that was hard for me, my first semester. That was very hard for me. First year in general. That was very hard. I just had my backpack on. I'll go to class, go home. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. I got time, all this time. I got more into like the gym. I felt like I had to always do something that was going to be athletic. I had to do something. So I was going to the gym or maybe just going on a jog, but I felt lost.
Had no personality.
Exactly. Sports was my personality.
But take that away, who's Eli?
Exactly. And that's what I try to put into like my athletes is it's okay to have an identity outside of just sports. I think we push sports so much that we forget there's an athlete that does the sport.
It's a human being.
It's a human being that has real emotions, real feelings. And I think even for me, there's one of the biggest things that I had to overcome myself as well, because we grew up in an era where, suck it up, figure it out. And, for me, now I do like give back, stuff like that, like athletes' birthdays or athlete of the day. I give people shines. Birthdays, I give people cards, stuff like that. I don't have to or anything like that. But at the same time, comes back tenfold. Athletes give you cards, they give you gift cards, they buy you meals on that third because they show you appreciation.
And it's not even expected. Like when the softball team gave me a card, it's like y'all about to make me cry.
Yeah. My first one, I sat here, I went home and I was like, man, I'm getting watery eyed. I'm like, man, like you may think you're doing a good job, but like you don't know you're doing a good job really until like you see all the love that these athletes have for you. And it's just like, wow, this is unexpected. Like this is you guys don't have to. I'm just here to train you. Especially in track and field space, a lot of these kids they go to practice and then they come back here to train right after practice. But they always say like, Coach Eli, like our coach don't do nothing. Like you come here and I feel like I always get a workout in. Like you come coach in my high school and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'm like, that's a great feeling because I'm just like no stepping on toes of like the high school athletes or coaches. I mean, and here in Georgia. But at the same time, that gives me a lot of just confidence in myself of like, I've got you guys as athletes.
Man.
Asking me, can I come take y'all spot? Can I come train can I go with y'all group and like train and you step to the side real quick?
Just for this season.
And I ain't gonna get into specifics about it.
For sure. Man, I had a situation like that, man. It was when Coach Harper, he was like, it's a girl that works on in Trinity. She plays college basketball.
Okay.
And he was like, it's crazy. I said, what happened, bro? Man, one of the girls Trinity asked for you the other day. I was like, why? She was like, what happened to light skin dude that used to help you coach up here? I was like, man, he works a job in Buford right now. She was like, damn, that dude's pretty damn good. Like, she was like, that other guy over there, he fucking sucks. But like, he's good. I want him back over here. And I was like, you serious? He's like, yeah, man. I'm like, damn, that's good. I'm cold.
Yeah, cold. I'm cold. Look, man, I said pride to the side, but when like the athletes, they build you back up.
Oh man, because you beat yourself down every day. You see a program, you're like, man, that shit sucks.
Late nights, building stuff up, and then you finally get to see your program in life, and be like, this is trash.
Man, look, how many times it's been like a 2 month. Like, I told my client today, I was like, I gotta restructure your program. He's like, wow, I like it. I'm like, man, fuck no, this shit's ass.
I got to see it in real life. I'm like, this ain't it. This is not what I had in my mind. Man, no, this ain't it.
It's like you in the booth, right? And like, you know, you gotta write 16 bars. And you just, man, shit ain't that. Nah. It's like
got record after record.
Oh
like,
my God, it ain't it. But it's like, you know, you spending money on books, you learning, you asking people all this stuff. But it's when your client get results, and it's like, maybe that shit wasn't that bad.
Yep. Hey, look, a lot of my throwaways might have been some gems.
Man, what? Or they say like, yeah, man, like, you know, like I really got a lot better. I was like, you sure? I just do that fucking workout away. I just do that workout away. You sure it got you better?
Yeah, so then, like, the more you want to achieve as a coach, you want to continue to keep growing. You know, the more and more, you know, those athletes, like, you feed them one time and like, dang, they get a benchmark. They achieve higher than that benchmark they set for themselves. You know, when your space, like basketball, you may have like a freshman saying like, you know, I want to make the JV team, right?
Yeah.
And like, let's say they like make the JV team, but they start the JV team. They're like, well, dang, I'm coming back to Coach Sean. Like, because before I was in 8th grade, everybody was telling me I had no shot, no nothing like that, no chance of making it. And then they train, they come around you and you build them up, you show them the entire like breakdown from like literally walking correctly all the way up to like the final aspect is actually playing the sport.
Oh my God, yes.
And then now it's like, dang, bro, you basically put them in a kindergarten program and started them basically pre-K. Say, look, we're gonna learn how to crawl first. We're not even gonna walk, we're gonna crawl. And then when you finally figure out how to crawl, we're gonna walk. And then when you finally figure out how to walk, we're gonna run. And then, you know, after we're done running, then maybe we might pick up a basketball. You know, and I think that and coaching in general is so important because a lot of coaches, you know, they won't train kids that's underdeveloped. You know, they're like, I don't want to train that kid, you know, because I got a reputation to uphold. You know, I was like, give me all the throwaways. I'd rather take a kid that can't run with nothing.
It's what my OGs call being a heavy lifter.
Yep.
Put them on your shoulders.
Oh yeah.
Come on. Oh
yeah.
Come on, I got y'all.
Look, man, as long as I can keep running, I'm gonna tell my athletes, look, we're gonna line up together then. If you can't run and I can, there's a problem.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna keep busting their ass until I get dunked on.
Oh yeah.
Until I get dunked on, like, all right, you surpass me. You surpass me. But like, you know, I believe like going from like a part-time coach to full-time coach, I mean like an extra full-time coach. I think mentally wise, I believe it has shown me how much impact I have within not only these athletes' lives, but community. Towards the parents, towards, you know, their cousins, their aunts, their uncles, everything. And it's like, when you understand that, it's like a certain type of, I think, flip has to get switched to where you hold yourself to a level of accountability that like is almost fucking perfect. And I say that because it's like, you know, you may have an off day, but that off day might have hit like, you know, if today's day 1, that off day could have been like day 45. You went 45 straight to having an off day. Like, it's so minimal, you barely see it. And one thing that it was at like one of your high school practice, I listened to the coaches speak, and it was a great fucking end off. He said, even on your worst day, you gotta be at your best.
Oh yeah.
Can't nobody know that. He said, if you want to be great, even on your worst day, you gotta be at your best. Can't nobody know you got a worst day.
Yeah, I got a kid, brand new athlete. He's out there in Cherokee Bluff. His name is Lane. He's out here today working. You know, his second day here. And one of the things that he told me, he was like, I'm gonna work hard. And he said, I don't do no BS. And I was like, well, that's great. You're in the right place because I don't do no BS. And, you know, he was like, no matter how hard the workout is, coach, I'm always have a smile on my face. And I was like, well, we're going to find out. Through the hardest thing I can give at him, through the whole circuit I threw at him, that most athletes don't really understand until like maybe like month 2 or 3. Dead tired, walking bent over, but a smile on his face the whole time, right? And I was like, that's the attitude that you need to have. I mean, he's not having the greatest day. It was sloppy. It's the second day here.
But that's life.
But
you gotta wake up when the shit raining, when it's a bad day, when everything is going against your way. Keep your fucking chest up.
Chest up. You know, and I think especially in the basketball space, you know, like with Russell Westbrook and turnovers and all that third, people mad at him that he don't really, but people mad at him about the fact that they're like, oh, you know, he's not taking accountability. He's like, I take accountability, but like turnovers is part of the game. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, I had a bad game, but I'm not about to just sit here with my head down and be like, they in the media getting on me.
Still got a chance to win.
That lets me know that that man had a great group of people around him growing up to tell him, like, keep your head up, bro. Because people going to talk about you behind your back. People going to try to bring you down. The more successful you get, the more people going to hold you to a standard that their standard, not your standard. And I think us as coaches, as we said, have athletes find their own identity and make their own standard for what they want to achieve in life. So that way, no matter what people say on the outside, it doesn't affect you. I know what I can do, regardless of what you say.
For sure.
So, yeah, for sure.
On the end off, man, because we both gotta get out of here.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I'm getting hungry.
No, that's all good. On the end off, man, like just to end it off properly. What is one message you can probably just leave off of this podcast episode for anybody listening, from a coach, player, parent, whatever, to use on a consistent basis? It could be like a quote, mantra, but something to where they can allow themselves to use it to push themselves the next day.
So I'll probably give one for athletes and one for coaches, man.
Nice.
For athletes, I will always say this: I don't believe in this make-believe thing that we live in, this Disney world where practice makes perfect. There's no such thing as perfection, all right? I always believe that practice makes you better than you were the day before. You continue to keep practicing because you want to be better. You don't practice because you think you're going to be the best, okay? Thinking you're going to be the best is a personal mindset, a personal standard that you hold for yourself, but you'll never be perfect. There's always things to work on. Sometimes your strengths that you have right now may be weaknesses as you grow in other areas. So you're always working on something. And for coaches, I would say dedication to the craft itself and dedication to the athletes are the biggest factors that will change a lifestyle of coaching for generations to come. Be dedicated to the craft, be dedicated to the athletes, and that will change generations to come. The more we think about athletes now will impact how we think about athletes tomorrow. I don't want an athlete to think that I'm a coach from the 90s. I want an athlete to think I was a coach from their generation that influenced them. So when they have, athletes of their own in the future, if they become coaches, they can coach them and be a coach of their generation.
For sure, hands down.
You got to be multifunctional. You can't be stuck in the old ways. You've got to move forward as a coach. You've got to learn the new lingo. You've got to learn the TikToks, the dances, all that third, because you've got to interact with these athletes. So, yeah.
Man, that was beautiful, dog. I love it. Well, that concludes our podcast video format. We here, live and direct at Redline Buford. Come get your work in, both of us. We here. And that ends our podcast. My God, thank you so much.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
For sure.